Hello everybody, and thanks for being here with me. In today's video I'm gonna show you my whole workflow process for editing wildlife pictures. Be careful because it'll be really long, so take your time. But let's get started. Okay, here we go. First of all, I want to thank Ron, a user of my channel that has suggested me to make this video. Ron have a YouTube channel as well, a channel of Digi's copying. I don't know if it's right, the pronunciation. Anyway, I think that I didn't know really well and that Ron make with a big passion. So I suggest you to watch his channel. Of course, you'll find the link in the description below. This video has been divided in 4 sections. As I said before, this video is pretty long, but if you aren't interested about my hardware and software, you can skip that section. You just need to know that I'm gonna use Adobe and TopAz software. Last year I had to change computer because the old one was too old and too slow. Furthermore, I couldn't add any other hard disk, and the hard disk of the computer were almost full, so the decision to change it. But the computer that I had in mind was really expensive, so I preferred to assemble it on my own. After a long study, I went for an AMD system. The CPU is the Ryzen 7 3700X model maybe, but I think is the right compromise between price and performance. But it's better if I show you the list of the computer components. In the list there are 4 hard drives, but actually there are 5 because I had another one as a work disk. Having the motherboard only 6 I/O channels, I can only add another disk if I need it. But what's the reason of so many hard drives? The answer is simple: for having the best disk performance. In one of the sovereign SSD there is the operating system Windows 10, and in the other there is the Lightroom's catalog. The raw files are stored in the Samsung SSD, so during the import and editing phases I don't have any bottleneck, despite the CPU isn't the newest and powerful one. Okay, for someone 128 GB can be too much, but trust me, the memory is never enough, mostly when you start to make video editing. And so, it's clear why I'm using an RTX Quadro graphic card. The RTX 4000 model is the smallest one, because I couldn't afford the bigger RTX 5000. Anyway, it works pretty well, and for my purpose is right, even though I'd like to change it, maybe in future when the price will get down. The monitor is LG 4K curved monitor, pretty good and pretty big. Before I had 2 monitors, but sometimes it was quite uncomfortable working them, even because they were different and I got some troubles. So the decision to buy a single but bigger monitor like that. Be careful because this monitor isn't so expensive, but it covers almost the 100% of the sRGB color space. Okay, I think it's enough for my computer, but if you have some questions, write them in the comment section below. Editing wildlife picture for having the best result can be challenging, and often you need to use different software to achieve the right picture. In this video, I'm going to show you my editing workflow about wildlife picture. Currently, I'm using the Adobe products, Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop, the last version, and TopAz Sharpen AI, I don't remember which version, to improve my images. If you are curious to understand my workflow, follow me in this new video. And if you are interested in wildlife photography and landscape photography as well, consider to subscribe to my channel. Thanks! For working comfortably, I took some accessories like Loupedeck CT, a really nice tablet for using with many programs like Lightroom and Photoshop. In my opinion, it's a good product. It's highly configurable and speed up my workflow editing, mostly during the images selection stage or when I have to discard bad images, but mostly during the editing phase, like I'm going to show you soon. Just to understand, this is the setup configuration program of the Loupedeck. As you can see, there are tons of settings about many aspects of the program, as well as Microsoft Windows itself. Okay, now I don't want to make a review of this loop deck. In case, tell me if you are interested too. Another stuff is the tablet UV that I use only with Photoshop when I need to be really precise, when I'm editing the images. And finally, DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor keyboard. Let me say that it's fantastic. It'll speed up your video editing workflow due to the many shortcuts it has, and the wheel for surfing the timeline is simply wonderful. As you said, I'm using Adobe software. I'm in the last version of Lightroom and Photoshop. With Lightroom I manage the catalog, so the import of the images, and then I use it for the first adjustments, white balance, lens correction, luminance noise, and so on. While with Photoshop I manage the noise, the sharpness, and the other kinds of editing, mostly if I have to publish on the internet or I have to print, or I want to change mood as well. But don't worry, we'll see everything in this video. In the end, there is Topa Sharpen AI, an old version for managing the luminance noise and the base sharpness. Yes, because with Photoshop I apply some specific sharpness when I need it. So, are you ready? Have you got French fries and Coca-Cola? Yes? Very good, let's crack on. Here we go. And now I'm going to show you the my real workflow editing. Okay. Now I've just started with Lightroom, and I've already make an import of a memory card of my camera. So in this panel there are all the pictures that I have imported and are related to my last wildlife photography of today in reality. Okay, the first thing that I do is to choose and to discard the best picture. First of all, I select the picture to discard and to delete. So I'm going to use the loop deck keyboard. Okay. In this way. Okay, for now I'm going to skip the video. As you can see, with the wheel of the loop deck I can view every single picture. I can decide if I want to keep it or to discard. For example, this one I mark it as rejected. This one is empty, so it's useless. I don't know if to keep one of these because it's pretty similar, so maybe only one, the other I rejected. Okay, now there is the subject, the little owl, in another position, so it's pretty good. I can flag as a pick. The other are really similar. This one is on the back, so I can discard, rejected. This one is similar to the previous one, so I prefer to reject it. Okay, now the meaning, because I have many picture pretty equal, is that because when I shoot I use it the shooting burst. So okay, so I have many picture really equal to each other. So for now I'm going to select the picture that I intend to keep, to save, like this one. Now clicking on the picture, I can have the magnification of the picture itself. This is nice. Even though it's not really in focus. But it's not so important. It's quite fun. This is nice. and it's pretty good. This one also this one, because I liked the neck of the little owl, where there is this strange shape, white shape, that it looks like the eyes of an animal, of the little owl itself. This one is nice. Also this one. This one is really cool. It looks like hungry. What's happened? Where is the mouse? Okay, I don't know. Okay, sorry. Let's go quickly. Yes. Okay. This one is not so bad. So I prefer to mark. This one is nice. Also this one. Oh, in this picture it's quite scared. Maybe they saw something, but after it's already calm. It wasn't quite worried. This one not so much. I don't like it so much. This one is similar to the previous one. From this moment, as you can see, the white balance is a little bit more warm because the sun was coming. So I prefer to keep. Okay, this one not so much. Okay, this is good. Also this. Yes, pretty good. But this one I prefer to keep it. Okay, about the little owl, I've got only this one. Only this, because unfortunately the little owl gone away pretty soon. But after I've got some nice picture of this little guy. It's the European. I don't remember the name. The stone chat maybe. I'm not sure. But one moment. I can check here. Okay, stone chat, European stone chat. This is the European stone chat, or stone chat. I'll never know. Yes, maybe one day I'll know it because I'll go to check. I'm going to look for on a dictionary or somewhere. Anyway. This is one is good, not this one because it's on the back. Sorry, this one not. Yes. No. And now there is the Sardinian Stabler. It's a ball of fur, really nice, really cute. And this is I like it so much, so I had already chosen for editing. This one is good. They're pretty similar. This one is good. Also this one. Not so much because the height is a little bit out of focus, so I prefer to reject it, like this one and the following. Okay, and now there is again the stone chat, but I skip this one. Also this. someone, I prefer to keep it. Yes, why not? I like the position, and because he was watching in my direction. Nice. Nice. Okay, as you can see, when Lightroom is doing the rendering of the image, it takes a bit of time. It's pretty short, the time of rendering. Okay, maybe this one is good. Yes, very good. Also this one. This one. Okay, now there is the Sparrow Hawk. It's been a complete surprise for me because I didn't realize that it was arrived. And after I saw the hawk on this pole, I didn't understand what was before. And my lens was put in another direction, so I had to move really slow the camera, the lens to the hawk, trying to avoid to make too much noise or a fast motion of the lens. In fact, if you watch, the hawk is not perfect in focus. At least the head with the eyes. But the best part is the wing, like in this one. As you can see, it's not perfect. The eyes is not proper in focus, unfortunately. So I was saying, the hawk stayed on the perch, on the pole, only for some seconds. So I needed to move slowly the lens until to reach a better position, as you can see, while I'm moving the cursor, the wheel of the loop deck. Nice this moment when it was protecting the eyes with this part that I don't know in English, sorry. Until I have the whole bird. And this is quite good. Yes, it's not so bad. This is one of the picture that we are going to edit together. Okay. Now I pretend to finish the selection, but it's not true because I'll take a lot of time. So now I prefer I'll show you that the picture marked in black, like this one, are to delete. So now I select by flag. Okay, rejected. And now I remove from the disk because others are useless. And now we are going to edit. Maybe let's see. Yes, it could be this one. Okay. What's the first thing that I check when I want to edit a wildlife picture? Okay, the first thing is, first of all, I put the Lightroom in edit mode. The first thing is not checking, controlling the white balance or other aspect, other thing. But the first thing is to remove the chromatic aberration, if there are, and enable the profile correction, because in this case I've just selected my lens, the Sony FE 200 600mm. So I'm sure the image has the right geometric correction. Speaking about of the lens, of course. Now I can think about the white balance. Usually I use the auto, but in this case it's not real, because there wasn't this kind of light with yellow, so I prefer to use the daylight mode, but it's more neutral and it's more realistic. Another thing that I want you to do first is to remove this spot, because the sensor has some spot that I in theory clean. So using this tool, I select the several spots, like this one, maybe moving. Okay, and it looks like pretty good. Usually the spot on the sensor of or at least my sensor and this part and this part of the frame, but watching better I'm seeing that there aren't anymore. Okay, very good. Now the subject is in the center of the frame. Usually I use the rule of third to put the subject, but this time I hadn't time to make a proper composition. So the only thing that I can do is only to crop a little bit, not so much, because I want to have more space here. Okay, in this way it's much more balanced, the image. Okay, now I can think about the highlights. So because I prefer to don't have any clipped white area, so checking the white feathers of the oak, I can understand if I have to make some adjustment. It's not this case. Then I want to make this part a little bit brighter, so I have to adjust the black slider, moving on the right, and now the shadows a little bit, moving on the right. I think it's quite good. Maybe I can increase a little bit the contrast, but only a bit, and I can increase also the vibrance, just to have the color a little bit more pop, and to have the orange eyes more vivid, more luminous. I don't know if it's right. Anyway, okay. Here, yes, maybe a clarity just a little bit in order to improve the micro contrast. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Yes. Actually, the image is quite good, so I don't have to make a lot of a lot of adjustment. But watching the panel on the right of Lightroom, as you can see, I'm not touched a lot of slider now, because the image is quite balanced itself. Now the only thing is the noise reduction, because I've shot the image, okay, it was 5000 ISO value at 600 millimeter and at f8. As you can see, there is a lot of noise. But now I'm going to remove a little bit, because I prefer using Topaz Sharpen AI to remove the luminance noise and to improve the sharpness. Okay, but also with Lightroom I remove the noise a little bit. In fact, I don't go more over 17, 18 as a value. Okay, I think this image is quite good. Yeah, okay. On the right side there is this part of the sky, but it's much more brighter than the left side of the image, so I can use this gradient tool in this way in order to decrease the exposure, but just a little bit. Maybe I have to move in this way. Okay, in this way it's much more balanced and I think it looks better. What do you think? Are you agree or not? In the case, tell me without any problem. And maybe I might use the same filter in this part to make it a little bit darker. Okay, or maybe I can use the TAs not in this way. Okay, very good. But actually okay, not so much, because there is another mask. This one or this one, the first one. Here we go. Okay, I think I can move a little bit. Okay, I think it's much more balanced than before. I'm ready to import on Photoshop in this way. I hope my GoPro is recording as well as my camera. Photoshop is ready. It's telling me which profile use. In this case I use the embedded profile. Okay, as you can see, I was editing before this image, but now we are okay. The log deck is connected to Photoshop, and now I can use it. First of all, I make a copy of this layer in this way, in order to have always in order to stay on the safe side. Because if I make a mistake, yes, I can use the history, but I prefer to be more sure. I prefer to make a copy of the layer. And now I'm going to use Topaz Sharpen AI. Okay. I move the cursor on the head because I need to understand how is the result. Okay, I think it's pretty good, even though in this part there is still some noise, so I can move a little bit on the right, even though it doesn't change so much. Okay, I think it's better than before. Instead, watching the head and the eyes of the hawk, it's quite good, the work of Topaz. Topaz is making, even though I can't claim a miracle. So I can increase to remove the blur, but I think it's a little bit better. Oh, I can try the focus option. Okay, now I want to show you the difference this is the image before and this is after. Okay, I think it's quite perfect. I can't ask more because it's pretty clear, pretty sharpened. The eyes is very good.
The eyes is
but
very good.
Just to be on the safe side, I can make a further adjustment in this area. And okay, my aim is to have the eye and the beak much more in focus. So in this case I can make a selection of this area. Okay, this one, in order to have in this way, in order to make a copy of this part of the bird. Okay. You don't have to be really precise in this case. Near the beak, yes. And I have to include also this part. Okay. Now I make Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Now, okay, now I'm going to work only on this small part of the bird, adding an unsharp mask, but only a little bit, because I don't want ruin anything, with a radius really small, maybe a little bit bigger. Yes, it looks pretty good. Maybe I can increase a little bit, not too much, because okay, it's only a copy. So magnifying the image, there are a lot of strange pixels, maybe from the top hats, but we are watching the image almost at 400%. It's insane. Watching the image at 100% like now, it's quite good. And you need to be aware that when you print a picture like that, you won't see this strange artifact on the print itself. So I think is the job is finished. Okay, I'm going to save. I'm going to save this image in this way. Okay, every my subject has a specific folder for storing every picture. In this way I make another catalog sorted by species, and it's a way to know to learn the scientific name. In fact, these are all my folders about wildlife, and there are quite a lot. Okay, and every folder has the scientific name of the animal. Okay, so what do you think about this job? It's quite simple, and with this tool you can get this result in a very short time and without making a lot of job. And this is the result when I want to print or to publish on internet image. But sometimes I like to change a little bit the mood, so we can try with another picture. So changing the mood of the subject. And I can try with yes, it's fun. As I said before, the sparrowhawk stayed only for some seconds. When he realized that I was watching it, or him, I don't know, it's flown away really soon. So these are pictures that I have to reject because are out of focus and are useless. Like this one, like this one, like this one. Yes. Okay, I'm going to keep only this one because I didn't cut any part of the bird. But now we are going to select yes, maybe this little guy. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to edit this little guy, the stone chat. Okay. Develop mode. First of all, remove chromatic aberration, enable profile correction. When I check off, the image change a little bit. Okay. Lightroom apply a geometric correction of the lens and remove, I think, yes, a bit of distortion and vignetting. I don't know if it's right. Anyway, the subject now is really small, but we think about it after. Now I try to use the auto, the white balance auto. I'm not so convinced. The daylight is pretty yellow and it wasn't. Auto, no. As a shot it's a little bit green. maybe the auto is right, it's much more neutral, and it's good because after we are going to change mood. Now, okay, I can crop a little bit the image because I don't like this pole here and this part of the brush, so I change, okay, the image, the crop section, maybe. Okay, I think it's right. So, and I'm going to remove this grass. I don't know if it's right, and this piece of plant. It's quite annoying. Instead of this part, I prefer to leave it. So I'm going to use this tool in this way, maybe, yes. Instead of this one, I'm going to use Photoshop, but now it's time to work with the highlight because the white color of the bird was a little bit too white for my opinion, and the black part, okay, little bit on the right. Now I increase the vibrance just to make more pop the image, not so much, and the clarity too much, okay, a little less. Now noise reduction, and I think it's quite good, even though I think it's more flat, but with Photoshop I'm going to adjust everything. Okay, noise reduction, a little bit, not more, 20, yes, 19, it's good. Yes, I think it's pretty ready for editing the image with Photoshop. Very good. Now I send the picture to Photoshop. As always, it tells me to change the profile. First of all, I make a copy of the layer this way, and now I use Topaz Sharpen AI. Okay. Okay, the difference is it's huge. The background is really smooth now. I don't know. Yes, sharpening I think is good. I can increase just a little bit. Yes, wonderful, perfect. With this software, my workflow editing, my workflow process is really fast, because I don't have to remove manually the luminance noise. Even though with Photoshop you can do it quite easily, but you need to make a lot of masks, you need to protect the subject and so on, and it's too long as process. In this way I save a lot of time, and the subject is really sharper. And as I did before, just to be okay, I make another copy, I apply another sharpen filter, but really with a little amount. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, first of all, now it's better to save the image in the proper folder, and it should be this one. Yes. Okay, number 2. Very good. Okay, now yes, I was forgetting, but I wanted to remove this part. Yes, and I'm going to use this tool. Okay. It doesn't matter if you cover. Okay, a little bit. It's better to enhance, to make bigger. Oh, sorry, I make a mistake. Very good. Maybe I can remove also this one, because I don't like it. It's quite annoying. It doesn't add any. Okay, I think it's quite good. Very good. Save again, and now I'm going to change mode. What I want to do is to put the bird like as it was in a cloudy day, maybe with a sun ray coming from this part. Okay, wait a moment. In this way. Okay, I created a curve, and now I'm going to make it darker. Like this. Okay, very good. Now in the in the mask, I'm going to make using a brush. Okay, change a little bit. I'm going to make a spot, a black spot, just here, in this way. And now I want to change shape of this spot. Using the Control key, I make maybe in this way. I think quite good, but okay, maybe and I confirm the operation. Yes, I think it's too much, so I increase the filter slider in order to need to shade better the sunbeam, sorry, but it's also important to decrease this one, not too much, in order to because as you can see here there is this band, but I don't like it so much. Very good. So increasing it's worse. I think the best solution is this one. And maybe I have to change the curve and minus white now. Okay, it's quite good, even though I'm not sure. Maybe. Okay, let's see what happened. Yes, duplicating this layer and changing opacity in this way, but also changing, yes, okay, in this way I'm simulating another sunbeam. Okay, I just to understand what is the best. In the center, maybe in the center, yes. Okay. Now, okay, the opacity, sorry. And now, it's too much, sorry. It's better to work, okay, in this way. I think it's pretty good. I can increase the contrast, not so much because it's quite strange after. Okay, very good. Another step now, I think, is to add more warm, like as a gradient map or a photo filter adjustment, like this one, but in first position, and not too much, because, okay, I think it's too much. In this way it's a little bit better, but when I use the photo filter, the birds change a little bit as a color, and if I use a bigger density, like now, okay, I prefer to mask the bird itself in this way. Okay, using a brush, yes, bigger, no, smaller, sorry. I protect the bird in this way. So I made a hole here in the mask, and now also this part, just to be on the safe side. Maybe the difference is not so visible, but as you can see, the bird itself doesn't change. Okay, and the mood is much more warm than before. Actually, I can add a source of light, the yellow here in this part, with a new layer in this way, using the brush, a really big brush, and with another color, maybe this one, why not? Okay. In this way, and changing, yes, changing method. Yes, overlay, and now I have to change opacity because it's too much. And I think it's too big, so it's better to change the dimension of this. Okay, sorry, but I need more space in this way. Okay, I think it's good. And I think it's much... okay, I want to decrease a little bit. Okay. After, before, after. Okay, I think it's pretty finished. Yes, why not? Okay, this picture, I like this picture because there is the subject, the bird, in the environment. So it's not a portrait, but it's more similar a landscape picture, wildlife in the environment. So really different to this one, that it's a portrait of a bird. In this case, the bird is in its environment, so you can understand how and where it lives. Yes. This part of the image, in this part in the top, there are a lot of bands, I don't know, but I think that I can save the image. The subject, the small bird, is in focus and it's really sharp. So I couldn't ask more, and I can publish this photo. This is before and this is after. Before and after, and the mood is really different. It's more warm. Is like as the picture, the photo was taken in the early morning with the sun that is coming through some clouds and stuff like that. Okay, so let me know what you think about this editing. And nothing, I think is all for this video. Okay guys, this video I think it's been really long. For me it's been pretty hard to speak easily in English because I don't know many words in English. Anyway, for this I can only apologize to you, and I hope you understand my situation. Anyway, I wanted to say that this is more or less my editing workflow. It's not so long, it's not so difficult because I'm using only a few tools, just top hats, sharpness AI for improve the sharpness of the subject of the picture. For animal, it works really well. In other situations, the results are not so beautiful. But in general, it's a tool that it works well. I think it's okay. It's time to say goodbye. I hope you don't scare anyone with this video. I know it's pretty long, maybe it's sometimes a little bit boring because we didn't tell you everything, but I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like it, as always, give me a like, and maybe you can consider to subscribe the channel, because I need always more help from you. And nothing. Thanks for watching. See you really soon. Bye bye.